Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me. My name is Laura Stranks, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. I just wanted to show you how I made these. They're called Starburst cards. I posted them both on the demonstrator planning place on Saturday, the Saturday just gone, and I had lots and lots of lovely comments and also requests for the PDF. So I thought I would do a tutorial and a video, and I will have it up. Some of you have joined my Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials page, so I will upload the video onto there and also the instructions for how to create the card. And also, if you go on Cards by Laura, a lot of my creations are on this page, Facebook page. Just let me know if you want to join this one as well. If you want to go on, you can pop on this one anytime and have a look. It's called Cards by Laura, and that's the header page on that one. Now, this is a very quick video. I've cut and prepped everything for you, and I shall get started. I'm going to do one in a different colour, and I'll do the darker colour here in the background, but I'm still going to do the white matte around the edges. So we shall get started. Now I'll give you the measurements of everything up front. Normally I do it as I go. So I've got my base here, and I'm using the same designer series paper, which is, I think it's called Rings of Love. For memory. My base is mint macaron, which is one of the colours in the paper, and it's half an A4, which is Australian A4 standard, or I think it's about 14.8 or 9 in centimetres, and then I've scored that at 10.5, and I'm doing it on the landscape, which is this way. Then my mat that goes on top of that is in basic white, and it is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. I shall put the centimetre measurements on my in my instructions when I upload the instructions on the video. Then I've used Poppy Parade for my mat, which will be underneath all the layers of the DSP, so just the little strips will shine through on this. It measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8, so it's 1 inch smaller all the way around than the white piece. If you work in centimetres, you can go, I think it's 2 or 3 centimetres smaller. Might even be 5. Hang on, and I'll just measure. I think it could be 5 centimetres. Not sure. This hasn't got the centimetres on the mat, on the grid paper, but I'll put them all on the instructions anyway. My inside mat is the same as my front white mat, which is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then I've done a decoration inside. I'm just going to do this strip. It's a 1 inch strip, and the DSP is 3/4 of an inch, and they both measure 5 5/8. Which will fit nicely across the bottom of that, something different this time. So that's the inside piece. Now and I've done a greeting. Got a croaky voice. That is out of the Tasteful Labels set, and the greeting I got from the Cottage Rose set. It fitted nicely onto that die cut. So we shall go ahead, and I've done the die cut in the Poppy Parade as well, and I just split it at the back and split it and pulled it apart, and just to give the little bits on the end to make it a bit different. Then with the DSP, these all measure. Now it depends which way you want to do it. You can cut 3 pieces and cut them in half on the diagonal, or you can do 6 pieces and get 2 cards out of it. But also remember, if the DSP has got a direction on it, like this one here, when you flip it, I'll show you when I get to putting it onto the paper. As you can see with this one, these two cards I did with the reverse flip. Here, the birds are upside down. They're right way. Everything was right way on this one, but when I put them over onto this one, it was just the bird one. The birds ended upside down on the thing because you've got to flip them over, and I'll show you what I mean. So I've chosen 6 patterns only because I don't want any of my directional ones upside down. So the bird one I'm using again, and I thought I'd alternate them so that we've got this Poppy Parade in amongst the blues and the mint macaron. So I've chosen 6, but I'm only going to do 1 card and not use the reverse side. And these, I didn't tell you, they measure 4.5 by 2 inches. And depending on which way you want to do it, but if you just cut a few and then you can choose, and I'll show you how I haven't cut any of them yet because I want to show you which way we go. So you're going to cut them all on the diagonal from one top corner to the bottom corner. Put the point in the track. When I cut DSP, I start my cutter blade in the center because I don't want to drag. So I just go up and down, and that way you're not dragging the corner of the paper and scrunching it all up. So we're just going to cut all 6 of these. I can use some of them on another paper, but if I use the bird one, the birds are going to end up upside down, so I'll just keep that piece and use it for something else later on. All of the others don't have a direction. I think there's one in here also that had little houses on, so if you use that one, when you flip it, your houses will be upside down. This one is a really pretty pattern. Just have a mouthful. I love this. It's got the pale blue and the mint macaron and night of navy all on one. Now I want that blade in the middle so I don't tear my DSP. I'll just keep them all together at the moment. I've got them up the right way, the way that I want to, the side that I want to use. You can flip over your DSP. Just cut 3 pieces of this, flip them over. But as I said, if you, if it's a directional paper, you see if you flip, if that's all right on that side, but when you flip this, your birds are going to end up upside down. I'm sure they'll end up with a headache doing that, or falling off the branch. So that's all of those cut, and I'm just doing 1 card. I'll just turn my alarm off. That was to start my video. I forgot to turn it off. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get this Poppy Parade piece. Now you need all of the widest part, where you've cut it on the diagonal, you want the wider piece at the top. So we're just going to lay them out. I'm not going to use that bottom one. I'm going to use this one, and I've got this Poppy Parade in amongst. I won't use every second one. You'll see how they go in a sec. So you want all the 2-inch part at the top. I won't need all 6. Yes, I do. Sorry. You'll see in a sec how it works. So I've got the Poppy Parade ones interlocked with that, with just the bluey mint macaron pieces. Now this piece here, I'm going to mark it at, and this is on my instructions as well, mark the halfway mark, which is 2 11/16. You probably can't see my little ruler here, but I'm going to mark it top and bottom at 2 11/16. 8 is halfway, so you want 1, 2, 3 more past that. 3 little strokes. Each stroke on this ruler is 1/16. That's 8, 9, 10, 11. I know it's an unusual size. If you want to make your mat a little bit smaller, you can, but I've found this works quite well. And that mark is only there temporarily, so you can start your first piece. Now you're going to start the top, and I'm going to put it just to the one side of that mark because I want an even piece down the center. This one here I did narrower spacings, and then I found I had to put another little piece at the bottom here because there was a big white gap there. This one here I moved them wider, and that way it worked out even with the 6 pieces across. So as you can see, your center ones, they go straight down the center, but so where the halfway mark is, just go halfway, and then this one here will come in like this. But you've got to make sure that the edges, the ends of your DSP come up over the border. That you're going to trim it all off later, so make sure the ends are not showing or up over the top of the cardstock, so you can trim them off. If you have it down there, you're going to end up with an odd piece here. So we shall just glue. Now I did see one lady do it where she put glue all over this, but then where you've got the gaps, the glue is still sitting there. So I prefer to glue this, and I'm just going to use my Tombow, and I don't need to glue right up the top and right down the bottom because that bit's going to get cut off. So we'll go to about there. Doesn't matter if it is sticking over. I'm using my silicone mat so that if there is any excess, it's going to go onto the mat. So I'll just turn this sideways. It's easier to line it up. And we'll just line it up just over to the left of the 2 pencil marks. You can rub those out later. So that's that one there. And then this one's going on this side. Make sure you keep your flat edge, the longer edge, the point goes to the bottom, and that's easy to remember. Just move that up a bit. That's the side with the houses on at the back of this piece. They look quite cute too, but you would only use one side, otherwise your houses will end up upside down. So now I'll probably put the glue a bit high on that, but if it's on this mat, it's not going to matter. So this will go just to the other side of this. And I've left that bit wider gap so that when I get to the end, I haven't got to fill it in. Just move that up a little bit. Make sure that's there is above your outside edge. And then you just keep following on. I'm going to keep wiping that so it doesn't glue all over the back of my workings. There's another bit there. Just keep wiping it as I go. And then this one will come in here, and as you can see, it's starting to form the starburst. Put glue on the back of this, and they get smaller as they go. I prefer, some people trim them off as they go, but I prefer to trim, just flip it over and trim the whole lot when you get to the end. Just make sure that's same spacing and that it's coming down over the bottom of the card and up the top as well. I felt this colour popped a little bit more than some of the other colours. You can do your backing piece in the same as your base, which is what I did with this one here. I've got Night of Navy, and the spacings are Night of Navy. But this one I've done it a little bit different. I'll just move that one along a little fraction. That's fine. So now this one comes in here. I might as well leave the lid off that. I've just got a habit of, I always put my lid on my glue even after I've glued just one thing. And then this one will come in here. I'll move that over so it's not straddling off my mat. Another one along there. Move that up. Nearly missed that corner bit. I'm going to make sure it covers the whole thing. If you do a smaller base or a bigger base, if you do a bigger base, make them longer instead of the 4.5 inches long. You could do 5 inches, 6 inches, whatever you like. Just make sure you allow enough to come up over the top of the mat underneath. My spacing in the middle is a little bit wider than the others, but that's okay. I'm sure you get the idea of it. And this one will go on the end. And because I've allowed a little bit, oh, it's got a tiny fraction there, but that's not too bad. I wouldn't worry about that little bit at the bottom. And then the last one on this side where we've got our birds. And that one ended up with a big gap too. I don't know why. I'd have to fill in with another little bit. Maybe, I think my blue ones have got a bigger gap. Actually, what I will do is trim the whole thing all the way around to stop that. It's just a little bit of a nuisance if you're going to. If you do a narrower gap, you'll fit another piece in comfortably on the end to cover that. You just you can use some of the bits off the whatever's left. But what I'm going to do, I'll flip this over and then I shall trim the same all the way around to try and get rid of that. So then you get your scissors and just trim around the edge of that, keeping it nice and close to the border of the cardstock. Keep those little bits for a sec because they may come in here. I'll show you how you can fill in the little gaps rather than trimming it down smaller. I didn't really want to trim it smaller. You could make this piece, Poppy Parade piece, a fraction smaller before you start, so it eliminates that need to put that last little piece in the corners. My last one seemed to work out perfect without trimming it, but that's how we get that. I'll just put all that on there because it's got glue on the back of it. That side's not too bad. I'm not going to worry about that little piece. I would maybe make it 1/8 of an inch smaller, or put your spacings a little bit wider. I've got that one in the centre wide, but the ones on the outside aren't as wide as the centre one. So maybe just, so long as you mark the centre, then it shouldn't do that. So that's that piece. Then that will mat onto this. Now I don't usually do a very big greeting or anything because you're taking away the look of the Starburst. So we shall just put some glue on the back of this one. If anyone wants to subscribe to my YouTube channel, just hit the subscribe button. Give me a like if you like my videos. I'd love to have you on board. And when you do subscribe, there's a little bell there. If you hit that, it will ask you if you want to be notified. And if you tick all, it will notify you when I've uploaded my videos. I record them, so I go uploaded every Monday morning at 9 a.m. So you'll be watching this at 9 a.m. if you live in Australia. I'm in Brisbane, Queensland, so this is where you'll see my videos. Just put this quick greeting on and put it up here a little bit. Nice and straight. And then the inside piece, I shall just glue that to the white inside base. Every card will look different depending on, if you get a DSP, I know the Hues of Happiness would look lovely in this, and it's sort of just flowers splotched everywhere, so you wouldn't have to worry about direction. There's the cottage, I think it's, I don't know what it's called now, cottage checks or something. It's in the mini catalogue, and it's towards the back. It's with the wreath set, and it's all checks, and there's some really lovely, it's only a couple of different sizes. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, it's not too bad. I'll just wipe that up in a sec. Trying to do too much at once. And we shall just put this down on the inside. So that was it. Nice quick video, quick card. Just choose your patterns that you like. I could have done mint macaron between, but I thought it was a bit too much mint macaron then. And I hope you liked that video. I have got the instructions here, and I shall adjust them to what needs to be fixed, but I think they're pretty much right the way I've got them. So just keep an eye out on my tips and tutorials page, and the PDF, I'll upload it there in the files section. And that's it from me. I hope you have a lovely day, and I shall catch you all again next Monday at 9 a.m. Bye for now.